Hi, this is Mrs. Maxey speaking. This is a video on the data and analysis topic for National 5 Applications of Maths, the numeracy unit, and this is looking specifically at graphs and charts. We're looking at bar charts in this video, and we are moving that up into a National 5 level by looking at composite bar charts. So it's going to have more information on these bar charts, and I'll show you a couple of different ways that that could be the case. So for my first example, we've got a composite or component bar chart here. It's made up of 3 different components. So rather than just see one bar in each section, so from 0 to 4, 5 to 15, etc., we can actually see 3 different colored bars in each section. And that's because each of the different colors represents a different year, and it allows us to do better data analysis. It allows us to compare. So this isn't just about reading reading a bar chart. It's also about interpreting it and asking ourselves, what does this information actually tell us? So this bar chart specifically shows the percentage of the population in each age bracket for 3 different years in the last century. And there's going to be a couple of questions which are about reading it, and then there'll be a question which is more about kind of analyzing, well, what does this bar chart tell us? So question A says, which year had the highest frequency, so I'm just getting a new pen, of people aged 16 to 24. So we're looking at the 16 to 24 age bracket. We can see that this axis is labeled this age, and we can see the other axis is labeled frequency. The frequency just means the percentage of the population. Okay, how regularly it occurs. So in 16 to 24, we're looking for the highest frequency. In other words, which one's got the most people, the biggest proportion of people. You can see that the darkest bar is the tallest here, and that represents 1998. So the highest frequency of people aged 16 to 24 occurred in 1998. The next question, question B, in which year was 25% of the population aged between 25 and 39? So I'm looking for 25% of the population going along. Oh yeah, and again, it's the darkest color bar, which is 1998, age 25 to 39. Okay. Final question for this bar chart. In which of the 3 years was the population the youngest? Now, this question is much more about interpreting the information. So we're given this information about the percentage of the population which sit within each age bracket, and we're looking for when the population will be the youngest. Now, if you're thinking about having a young population, what does that mean? And it means 2 things. It means that there is a bigger proportion, a bigger percentage of young people, and there is also a smaller percentage of older people. So we're looking for the beginning of the graph between in the younger ages. We're looking for a bar chart that's taller, which would tell you that there was more people, a higher percentage of people in that age. And then we're looking for when the bar is lower in those later years. Okay, and you can see that yet again in the darkest color, 1998, you can see that there are more people, a higher percentage of people, higher frequency of people who are younger. It's kind of similar for ages between 25 and 39, but then as people get older, that this bar is much smaller. Okay, so you could write in that 5 applications of maths, we always have to justify our answers. 1998 because the frequency of is higher of young people. Let's put of young people is higher, and the frequency of older people is lower than the other years. And it is specifically here that we're looking at the other years, and we're comparing the data for 1998 with the data for the other years. Okay. Now, if you were somebody who worked in the government and looked at population trends and what that meant in terms of the facilities that you were providing, that you would use this information. So you would say, okay, well, what does this mean? It means that in 1998 our population had a lot more younger people, so we probably needed more, I don't know, youth centres and that kind of thing, whereas now we've got a lot more older people, or in recent years we've got a lot more older people, so we need more care homes and that kind of thing. Now, there is another way that we can put multiple pieces of information on a bar chart, and this is having a diagram or a chart that looks a bit like this. Now, in this information, on this chart, we've got the information kind of like stacked on top of each other, and the reason why is because this diagram is about sales of sports shops. So the height of the bar, no matter what color, tells you the pounds worth of sales for each of the three companies, and then the different colors breaks that down into the different sports. So you can see that Beta Sports, okay, has the highest bar chart. However, it's probably more likely that club sports has got a bigger you can see that the section for cricket is bigger, so they are probably better for cricket gear than Beta Sports. Even though Beta Sports has got more sales overall, you can see that club sports is more popular for cricket. Okay, and that's why this information is shown like this, because it shows total sales, but then it also breaks it down. And this kind of chart is really popular when it comes to things like sales and that kind of thing. So question A that we're going to do says, how much were the golf sales in all sports? So golf is the red section. Now be careful here, we're not counting golf from 0 all the way up to 32. Golf starts at 20 and goes up to 32, and that is 12. Okay, now also if you read the scale, it says that a scale is in millions of pounds. They haven't sold £12 worth of golf equipment in a year. Okay, they have sold £12 million worth of golf equipment in a year, because it started at 20 and it went up to 32. Part B says, what are the total sales for football gear in the 3 shops? So in other words, these are the 3 major sports shops in Scotland. Well, how much are people spending on football gear in a year? Well, All Sports goes up from 0 to 20 million. Beta Sports goes up from 0 to in between 16 and 20, which is going to be halfway, 18 million pounds. Club Sports goes up to 12 million pounds. Add those together to get the total, which is 50 million pounds. Final question, what is the difference between the amount of cricket equipment in sales in all sports and club sports? So we need to know what the cricket sales were in all sports first. And in all sports, you can see that it starts at £32 million and goes up to £6 million, which is £4 million. In club sports, you can see that it starts at between 16 and 20, which is £18 million, and goes up to £34 million. So that'll end up being 16 million. And then you'll want for this question, difference between the amount of sales. So the difference is going to be whatever club sports is take away all sports, 16 million take away 4 million, which is 12 million pounds. Why would you be interested in that information? Well, if you were all sports, looking at how can we make sure that we're getting more sales next year, you want to break that down and say, oh my god, look at how much sales, how many more sales club sports are making than all sports. And you might use this information presented in this chart and the difference to be able to really make it a pitch to the directors of all sports to say, well, actually we should be investing in more cricket equipment or something like that anyway. And that's why data analysis is so important across a variety of different topics. So go and do your practice now. This video is taking you 10 minutes. You're going to need 5 minutes to find the video. You're going to need to, the worksheet. You're going to need 5 minutes at the end to be able to mark it and upload it. So that means you have got approximately 25 to 30 minutes left to do the worksheet. It's an assignment on bar charts. And when you do that, I want you to focus on questions 2, 3, and 4, and question 5 is the extension. But I'll put that information on the assignment. That's everything for today. Bye.